This world wasn't made for humans. Have you ever stopped and looked around? Really looked. The trees, the insects, the birds, the oceans, the mountains, the animals crawling beneath our feet, and then looked at us. Humans. Maybe the strange thing isn't that we're destroying the planet. Maybe the strange thing is that we were never really built for it in the first place. Think about it. A bug can fall from the sky and keep moving. A bird can sleep on a branch thousands of feet above the ground. A fish can live its entire existence underwater. A bear can walk through freezing temperatures covered in nothing but fur. An ant can carry something many times heavier than itself. And humans? We need houses, clothes, shoes, heating, air conditioning, medicine, tools, machines. We can't breathe underwater. We can't fly. We can't survive extreme cold without technology. We can't even walk barefoot across certain environments without hurting ourselves. Maybe this planet wasn't designed around us. Maybe we're just extremely intelligent animals trying to make it work. Look at insects. They're everywhere. They've survived for hundreds of millions of years. They don't need supermarkets. They don't need electricity. They don't need money. They don't need Wi-Fi. They don't need a job. They simply exist. An ant wakes up and does what an ant does. A bee flies from flower to flower. A spider builds a web. A bird migrates thousands of miles without looking at a map. Nature gave these creatures the equipment they needed. But humans, we had to invent everything. Fire, weapons, buildings, cars, planes, computers, medicine, artificial light. We built an artificial world because the natural one is incredibly difficult for us to survive in. And look at what we've done. We've covered the ground with concrete. We've turned forests into neighborhoods. We've redirected rivers. We've built enormous cities. We've created machines that allow us to live thousands of miles away from where our ancestors evolved. We've basically created a giant protective shell around ourselves, and then we call it civilization. But underneath all of it, we're still animals. We still need oxygen, water, food, sleep, sunlight. And eventually, death comes for us, just like it comes for everything else. And here's the disturbing part. The insects don't seem to care about any of this. The ants aren't worried about inflation. The bees aren't checking their bank accounts. The birds aren't wondering if they'll be able to afford rent next month. The deer doesn't wake up thinking, how am I going to work for the next 40 years? Only humans created a world where survival became connected to money. We invented numbers. Then decided those numbers determined whether we deserved food, shelter, healthcare, and security. A squirrel can find a nut and eat it. A human can have money in the bank and still be unable to afford a home. What kind of world did we create? Maybe that's why modern life can feel so unnatural. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, buy food, pay rent, repeat, repeat, repeat. And somewhere along the way, we forgot that we're biological creatures living on a giant piece of rock in space. We spend most of our lives inside buildings, under artificial lights, looking at screens, following schedules, watching clocks, waiting for weekends, waiting for vacations, waiting for retirement, and eventually, waiting for death. Meanwhile, outside the window, the birds are still flying, the trees are still growing, the insects are still crawling, the ocean is still moving. Nature doesn't care about our calendars. Maybe humans weren't meant to conquer nature. Maybe we're supposed to remember that we're part of it. Because we're not above the animals. We're animals too. We're just the animals that learned how to build cities. The animals that learned how to manipulate energy. The animals that learned how to communicate through machines. The animals that became intelligent enough to ask, why are we here? And maybe that's our greatest gift and our greatest curse. Because once you become intelligent enough to question the world, you also become intelligent enough to realize how strange it is. Maybe this world isn't made for humans. Maybe it was never supposed to be. Maybe we're just another species, trying to survive, trying to understand, trying to find our place, on a planet that was already here long before we arrived, and will still be here, long after we're gone. We're not the owners of this world. We're just one of its creatures.